Week 8 in college football here at SBR Forum Videos. I'm Peter Loshak, and we're talking with Jeff Grant, featured sports betting writer for the Bleacher Report. Jeff, the second game I asked to talk about is huge Michigan rivalry game, Michigan State at Michigan. Now, both these teams kind of, have some things that give me pause when I think about backing them. Michigan in general does not do that well. They look great against, inferior teams, and Denard Robinson does his great stats against inferior teams, so they're not that great when they face elite competition. Michigan State, though, they got beat pretty soundly by Notre Dame. They even struggled against Eastern Michigan, and then last week they lost outright at home to an Iowa team that's not one of the best Iowa teams in recent memory. So my lead on this game would be to Michigan State getting 10 points in a big rivalry game. But again, they struggled against Eastern Michigan, so how can I back them here in this game? What do you think? What do you make of these lines?
I was talking to one of my Michigan contacts. I have a couple people that I've gotten to know doing this since 2006 that I talk to specifically when it's Michigan or Michigan State games.
Excellent.
And luckily for me, they're both playing in this game. And he said that he wouldn't put Michigan as a favorite higher than 7 in this game. Then I asked the question, why did they open up at 11.5 at Bookmaker on Sunday afternoon? He didn't give me an answer. I'm still trying to find an answer. And what I've come up with from being a situational handicapper is I need to find a reason to play Michigan State plus the points. And I can't find one from a situational standpoint. And let me get into this. Michigan State has won the last 4 meetings in the series. Michigan has never lost more than that. They've never lost 5 in a row to Michigan State. That's point number 1. Point number 2, Denard Robinson, the star quarterback, I guarantee this is the one game he's circled on the schedule to beat Michigan State, especially at home. And I've been a little disappointed in what I've seen from Michigan State, and I've kind of looked into how do they perform as a road underdog, and it hasn't been very pretty, especially when they lose. They've lost 5 of these games, their last 5 times, when they've lost as a road underdog in Big Ten competition, and they've just struggled in those games. They failed to cover the spread by an average of over 2 touchdowns. So I'm trying to find out what the odds maker is looking for me to do, and I think a lot of people are betting Michigan State just because of that double-digit spread, and I think people should go the other way.
Really? You talk about the bookmakers' opening line, and I think that what they would probably say is that their opening lines are sometimes a bit significantly off, and so the idea that they hung a number that was off on their opener is not out of the realm of possibility there. I guess, yeah. So you're implying though that they want action on Michigan State because they believe internally that Michigan is the right side here.
I think that's absolutely correct. And during my research, when you look at the past performances of Michigan State, this is the first time that they're getting points. So why are they getting a double-digit amount of points? I just think this is a perfect storm in the fact that Michigan State has now lost 2 games in the Big Ten Conference. They're basically out of it to get a BCS Bowl and go to the Rose Bowl. Michigan is on the upswing, and yes, I completely agree with your analysis that they beat up on lower rated teams, especially in conference. But Brady Hoke, the head coach there, has really made it a point to drill those type of points. If you look at their wins in Big Ten conference play, they're not just covering the spread. They're blowing out of the water.
Sure.
So with all of these things, I believe that the line is one of the more doesn't make sense.
Right.
It doesn't. Because a lot of people in the betting market have gotten burned by playing Michigan as a favorite in the past.
Yes.
And the one thing that Michigan State's had trouble with this year is dual threat quarterbacks. They've lost to 2 of them. They lost to Notre Dame with Golson, and they lost to Ohio State with Braxton Miller. And Denard Robinson didn't perform very well last year. This is a big game for him. We've already discussed that. He didn't perform very well through the air last year. He couldn't really throw it because there are 40 to 50 mile per hour winds last year. And Michigan State doesn't have the quarterback during this 4-game series win streak. They've had a quarterback that's been able to throw the ball. A couple of them have made it to the National Football League in Hoyer and, of course, Kirk Cousins. They don't have that here with Andrew Maxwell, and that's another reason why I like Michigan in this game.
All right. Well, you haven't convinced me to take Michigan, but in your defense, there's literally nothing you could have said that would have convinced me to take Denard Robinson, giving 10 points in this game. But you make a very compelling argument. Great analysis, Jeff. Thanks so much, and we'll talk to you again next week.
I suggest laying the points and pray.
Okay. All right.